Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. The Government of India's flagship program, Make in India, completed 8 years this week. During the period so far, annual foreign direct investment (FDI) has doubled as $83 billion. Ministry of Commerce and Industry stressed that the government is to focus on key sectors like semiconductors to achieve Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The ministry highlighted that India's export of toys registered a tremendous growth of 636% in April to August this year, over the period of the same in 2013. It is said that the Public Procurement Order of 2017 boosted the local industries by providing them preference in public procurements of goods, works, and services. It added that reduction in compliance burdens brought down cost and the enhanced ease of doing business in the country. Make in India program was launched in 2014 under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which is transforming the country into a leading global manufacturing and investment destination. The initiative is an open invitation to potential investors and partners across the globe to participate in the growth story of New India. Make in India has substantial accomplishments across 27 sectors. An indigenous loitering munition has achieved a significant milestone by successfully showing its strike capabilities during the test held at Pokhran on Thursday. This munition is capable of operating from challenging terrains and high altitude zones. The autonomous system created by Tata Advanced Systems Limited, also called as TASL, is soon to be integrated into the armed services and is intended for vertical takeoff and landing, that is VTOL. The load carrying capacity of this system is 23 kgs. During its test in Ladakh earlier this year, the ALS-50, which can take off like a quadcopter and switch to fixed wing mode for a long distance travel, also proved its capability to function from high altitude areas. With a range of 1,000 kilometers, the Made in India bomb carrying drone is developed by the engineers of TASL. It boasts of an autonomous targeting system that can identify its predetermined target with great precision and hit it accurately from its defined destination. The Indian Army and Defence Geoinformatics and Research Establishment (DGRE) has jointly installed the avalanche monitoring radar at one of the forward posts of Indian Army deployed at an altitude of 15,000 feet in North Sikkim. The radar was inaugurated by Lieutenant General Taran Kumar H, Ati Vishish Seva Medal, General Officer commanding Trishakti Corps. This radar, a first of its kind in India, can detect avalanches within 3 seconds of their trigger and will assist in saving the valuable life of troops and reducing damage to property in super high altitude areas. This radar uses a series of microwave pulses which are scattered at a target and can detect an avalanche under 3 seconds. The radar can permanently scan the targeted slopes for avalanches, release, and track the path of the avalanches and its size in case it is triggered. The radar can see through snow and fog as well as at the night, making it an all-weather solution and covering an area of 2 square kilometers, obviating the requirement to place additional instruments in dangerous avalanche-prone areas. The radar is so linked to an alarm system enabling automatic control and warning measures in case of an avalanche is triggered. Images and videos of the event are automatically recorded for future analysis by the experts. Besides being used for the detection of avalanches, this radar can also be employed to detect landslides. The hashtag #ChinaCoop trended on Twitter this week as rumors spread that President Xi Jinping was ousted and placed under house arrest. The claim has not been verified anywhere yet. Jennifer Zheng, a Chinese human rights activist, shared a video of military vehicles heading towards Beijing on September 22nd. Other tweets were highlighted that there was a speculation about mass cancellation of flights in China. There were wild rumors of a coup staged by General Li Qiuming to overthrow Xi Jinping, as the State Council gathering nears meant to hand over Xi a third term. The lack of news from China over the last few days suggested coup rumors were untrue. Whatever be the case, we need to wait and watch, and if this propaganda, then this is a quite successful propaganda. The Indian government is pushing smartphone makers to enable support for its Navic navigation system in new devices sold in the country from next year, a move that has spooked the industry due to additional costs and tight frame. Navic, or Navigation with Indian Constellation, is an independent standalone navigation satellite system developed by Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. Navic was originally approved in 2006 at a cost of $174 million. It was expected to complete by late 2011, but only became operational in 2018. Navic consists of 8 satellites and cover the whole of India's landmass and up to 1,500 kilometers from its borders. Currently, Navic's use is limited. It is being used in public vehicle tracking in India for providing emergency warning alerts to fishermen venturing out into the deep sea where there is no terrestrial network connectivity, and for tracking and providing information related to natural disasters. Enabling it in the smartphone is the next step in India for pushing into Atmanirbhar. So, how does Navic compare with the other competitors? The main difference is the serviceable area covered by these systems. GPS caters to users across the globe and its satellite circles the Earth twice a day, while Navic is currently for use in India and adjacent areas. Like GPS, there are 3 more navigation systems that have global coverage: Galileo from European Union, Russian-owned Glasnost, and Chinese Beidou. QZSS, operated by Japan, is another regional navigation system covering Asian Oceanic region with focus on Japan. So why is India promoting Navic? India says Navic is conceived with an aim of removing dependency on the foreign satellite systems for navigation service requirements, particularly for strategic sectors. Relying on systems like GPS and Glasnost may not always be reliable, as seen during Kargil War. After 10 months of flying in space, NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test (DART) was the world's first planetary defense technology demonstration. Successfully impacted its asteroid target on Monday. DART's impact with the asteroid Dimorphos demonstrated a viable mitigation technique for protecting the planet from an Earth-bound asteroid or a comet if it were to be discovered. DART, targeting the asteroid moonlet Dimorphos, a small body just 530 feet in diameter. It orbits a larger asteroid called as Didymos. The mission's one-way trip confirmed NASA can successfully navigate a spacecraft into intentionally collide with an asteroid to deflect it, a technique known as kinetic impact. The investigation team will now observe Dimorphos using ground-based telescopes to confirm that the DART's impact altered the asteroid's orbit around Didymos. Researchers expect that the impact to shorten Dimorphos' orbit by 1% or roughly 10 minutes. Precisely measuring how much the asteroid was deflected is one of the primary purposes of the full-scale test. Roughly 4 years from now, the European Space Agency HERA project will conduct a detailed survey of both Dimorphos and the Didymos, with a particular focus on the crater left by DART's collision and a precise measurement of Dimorphos' mass. The Ministry of Home Affairs on Wednesday banned the Popular Front of India and its associates, including the All India Imams Council, Campus Friend of India, CFI, Rehab India Foundation, National Conference for Human Rights Organization, National Women's Front, Junior Front, Empowerment India Foundation and Rehab Foundation, Kerala for 5 years under the Unlawful Prevention Act. The MHA banned the PFI and its associates and issued gazette notification a day after the nationwide crackdown on the radical outfit in 5 days, with police teams across 7 states conducting raids on Tuesday and detaining more than 270 people with alleged links to the radical outfit. The ministry in its notification said the PFI and its associates, affiliates and the fronts have been indulging in unlawful activities which are prejudicial to India's integrity, sovereignty and security, and have the potential of disturbing peace and harmony. According to the notification, the Income Tax Department cancelled the registration granted to the PFI under Section 12A and 12AA of the Income Tax Act 1961 in brackets 43 of 1961. The government has appointed Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan, retired, PVSM, UYSM, AVSM, SM, VSM as the next Chief of Defence Staff, CDS. Born on May 18, 1961, he is an alumnus of National Defence Academy, Khadakwasla and Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. In a career spanning over nearly 40 years, Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan had held several command, staff and instrumental appointments and had extensive experience in counter-insurgency operations in Jammu and Kashmir and Northeast India. The post of Chief of Defence Staff has been lying vacant since General Bipin Rawat's death in a helicopter crash on 8th December last year. The Supreme Court on 29 September said that all women married or unmarried are entitled to a safe and a legal abortion till 24 weeks of pregnancy. In its order, Supreme Court stated, marital status of a woman can't be ground to deprive her right to abort unwanted pregnancy. Single and unmarried women have a right to abort under Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act and rules till 24 weeks of pregnancy. Distinction between married and unmarried women under abortion law is artificial, constitutionally unsustainable, Supreme Court said. A bench of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and J.B. Pardiwala and A.S. Bopanna delivered this verdict. After recent clashes between Armenia and Azerbaijan troops, India will export missiles, rockets and ammunition, including indigenous Pinaka multi-barrel rocket launcher, to Armenia to help defend the nation against the neighbor Azerbaijan. India signed for an order of the arms export through a government-to-government route, through which the two nations inked contract for supply of the arms and ammunition to Armenia earlier this month. India will supply weapons more than 2,000 crores over the coming months. In a first, India will also export indigenous Pinaka multi-barrel rocket launcher. Pinaka has been developed by the Defence Research and Development Organization and manufactured by indigenous private sector firms. Armenia is also set to get an anti-tank rocket as well as a range of ammunition from India under the bundled deal. This development comes in the bid to push the government's effort to increase weapon exports with the policy reforms and active support from the government to secure overseas orders. The centre has set a target to sell weapon systems worth 35,000 crores abroad by 2025. However, this is not the first time India has exported weapons to Armenia. The central government first supplied 4 Swati radars to the Asian nation in 2020 for an estimated Rs 350 crores. Indigenously designed and developed light combat helicopter, also called as the LCH, was inducted into the Indian Army on Thursday. The first LCH was formally handed over by HAL to the Director General, Army Aviation Corps. The Cabinet Committee on Security (CCS) approved the procurement of 15 light combat helicopters limited series production at a cost of Rs 3,887 crores on March 30, 2022. 10 choppers will be for the IAF and 5 for the Army. The helicopter is equipped with requisite agility, maneuverability, extended range, high altitude performance and round-the-clock all-weather combat capability to perform roles of combat search and rescue, that is CSAR, destruction of enemy air defense, that is DED, counter-insurgency operation, that is CI, against slow-moving targets and remotely piloted aircrafts, that is RPAs, and high-altitude bunker busting operation. This can also be used in counter-insurgency operation in jungle and urban environments and support to the ground forces, and would be a potent platform to meet the operational requirements of the Indian Air Force and Indian Army. Notably, the indigenously developed multi-role combat helicopter will be formally inducted into the IAF at Jodhpur Air Force Station Base, Rajasthan on October 3rd. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday inaugurated the 36th National Games at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Gujarat's Ahmedabad, India's prestigious multi-event sporting, showcasing return after a gap of 7 years. It was last held in Kerala in 2015. Nearly 15,000 sportspersons, coaches and officials from across the country are taking part in the 36 sport disciplines. The National Games are being held in Gujarat for the first time. Events will be organized in Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, Surat, Vadodara, Rajkot, and Bhavnagar. India's deft diplomacy helped block China's bid to pass an anti-AUKUS resolution at the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA) on 30 September. Under the AUKUS alliance, the United States and the United Kingdom will supply nuclear power attack submarines to Australia. After Australia called for an independent inquiry into the origins of COVID-19 last year, a furious Beijing responded with economic coercions. The relations between the two countries haven't improved since then. When Australia received the submarines under this deal, China will have to worry about 8 more nuclear-powered submarines in the Taiwan Strait. Beijing has argued that the AUKUS initiative violated the US and UK's responsibilities under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, that is NPT, and criticized IAEA. India's considered role helped many smaller countries take a clear stand on the Chinese proposal. Realizing that its resolution would not get a majority support, China withdrew its draft resolution. In a first of its kind, the United States imposed sanctions on Mumbai-based firm Tibalaji Petrochemicals Private Limited on Friday for carrying out oil trade with Iran, even as US Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken said Washington will continue to accelerate enforcement of such punitive measures. This is the first such an act of sanction against Indian firm, and it comes within the days of External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar visit to US, during which he complained about the Joe Biden's administration not allowing countries to import oil from Iran and Venezuela. India stopped buying oil from Iran in May 2019 in the wake of sanctions imposed by the Trump administration in an unprecedented move. Prior to this, India was the second largest buyer of Iranian oil after China. In 2019, Washington had put a series of tough sanctions on Iran even as the Trump administration walked out of the Iran nuclear deal, also known as the Joint Comprehensive Pact of Action (JCPOA). Russia has vetoed the Western bid in the United States Security Council (UNSC) to condemn its annexation of Ukrainian territory. The US and the Albania tabled a draft resolution at the UNSC condemning Russia's referenda and annexure of 4 Ukrainian territories, that is Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia. The draft resolution also demanded Russia withdraw its troops from Ukraine immediately. The 15-nation United Nations Security Council voted on the resolution. Since Russia vetoed the resolution, it did not get adopted. Among the 15 nations of the Council, 10 voted in favor of the resolution and 4, India, China, Gabon, and Brazil, abstained from the voting. Tesla CEO Elon Musk unveiled the company's Tesla bot on Friday, a robot codenamed as Optimus that could go on sale by 2027. Musk wants to build Tesla bots by the millions and sell them for $20,000 a piece, as per a report. The Optimus effort, while still early, is among the most ambitious in the robotics against rivals like Boston Dynamics. Tesla uses the same AI software to control the Tesla bot as it uses in its car. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday inaugurated the India Mobile Congress IMC 2022 exhibition at Pragati Maidan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the much-awaited 5G services in India. According to the release, 5G will progressively cover the entire country over the next couple of years. 5G offers speed multiple times faster than the 4G, supports lag-free connectivity, can enable billions of connected devices to share data in real time. Besides powering ultra-low latency connections, 5G can enable solutions such as e-health, connected vehicles, more immersive augmented reality and metaverse experiences, life-saving use cases, and advanced mobile cloud gaming, among the others. The Department of Telecom has set up 5G testbed with the help of IITs, IISc Bangalore and Samir to develop the technology in 2018. All these will help in answering the Prime Minister's clarion call on Jai Anusandhan. The network will be launched in 13 Indian cities of Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, Chandigarh, Chennai, Delhi, Gandhinagar, Gurugram, Hyderabad, Jamnagar, Kolkata, Lucknow, Mumbai, and Pune.
And now for the segment where we see the events that unfolded this week back in history.
September 24, 2014, Mangalyaan reaches the orbit of Mars. On this day, 8 years ago, Indian Space Research Organization ISRO placed the Mars Orbiter mission in the Mars orbit, and India joined the elite club of the countries with expertise in interplanetary space travel. At $74 million, the budget of MOM was staggeringly cheap. Mangalyaan was supposed to last for just 6 months, but it is still going strong. Many Western critics wondered why India, a poor country, would go to Mars, but that was precisely the point. The journey was the thing. 25th September 1969, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation is founded. On this day, 53 years ago, the Charter of Organization of Islamic Cooperation was signed to boost Islamic solidarity and support the Palestine struggle. The collective voice of the Muslim world works to safeguard and protect the interests of Muslims world. With 57 members in the second largest international organization outside the United Nations, however, the OIC has failed miserably to emerge as a strong geopolitical force. So much so that its critics generally refer OIC as to be OIC. 26 September 1820, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar is born. On this day, 202 years ago, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was born. A polymath, he was a key figure in Bengal resistance in India. He played a leading role in the passage of Widow Remarriage Act of 1856. He opened schools across Bengal and wrote textbooks in his lifelong efforts to establish mass education. This Vidyasagar, or Ocean of Knowledge, reformed the Bengali alphabet, but it is remembered Dayar Sagar, an ocean of kindness. September 27, 1940, Axis Power signed the Tripartite Pact. On this day, 82 years ago, the Tripartite Pact was signed by Germany, Italy, and Japan. The three Axis powers recognized German domination over the continental Europe, Italian domination over the Mediterranean Sea, and Japanese domination over the East Asia and Pacific. They were joined by Hungary, Romania, Slovenia, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Croatia, and Finland. World War II was fought in the Pacific and the Atlantic theaters and resulted in the victory of the opposing camp, the Allies. (29 September 1913), Rudolf Diesel vanishes in thin air. On this day, 109 years ago, Rudolf Diesel, the inventor of the diesel engine, mysteriously vanished from his steamer while traveling to London from Belgium. His body was recovered 10 days later, floating partially decomposed in the water. The diesel engine, his invention, was more efficient than the steam and the gasoline-powered engines. The versatile engine gradually achieved popular acceptance and commercial success. Ironically, the engine was the one seen as a climate-friendly is today being criticized for causing pollution. September 30, 1938, Munich Agreement is signed to appease Hitler. On this day, 84 years ago, the Munich Agreement was signed by the Germany, Italy, France, and the United Kingdom to allow Adolf Hitler to annex Sudetenland, a part of Czechoslovakia. Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain waved the agreement to cheering British crowd and declared that it was the peace of our time. Winston Churchill felt the choice was between war and dishonor. Chamberlain chose dishonor, but he also got war. Munich entered the diplomatic hall of shame.
Well, that's all friends for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.